How to answer human resource interview questions. When you interview for a job, you may meet with multiple interviewers, including the Human Resources Department (HR). An interview with a human resource manager will mostly consist of the manager asking broad questions to determine your motivation, level of commitment, and productivity as an employee. Since your HR interview will determine if you get the job, you'll want to give a great interview. Answering personal questions. Tell them about your work and education history. When asked about yourself, don't tell them your life story, about your family, or about your hobbies, unless they pertain to the job. Instead, describe your work and education history, as well as what you've done to make you a great fit for the position. Specify your past accomplishments, specifically the ones that are related to the job you're applying for. 1. Practice providing a summary about your work and educational background before your interview. Say, after I finished my MBA, I spent 2 years working for a startup where I learned how to start and expand a business. Explain why you're leaving your current job. No matter why you're on the job search, speak positively of your past jobs. The interviewer will be looking for red flags in your answer that could indicate that you'll be a problem for the organization. Use your answer as a way to show that you are a better fit for the job you're interviewing for than for your old job, which you've outgrown. Avoid complaining about your old job or coworkers. Don't lie about your job. Instead, just focus on the positive details. If you've had a rough time at your current job, make a list of the positive aspects of the job, what you've learned there, and how you've contributed to the organization so that you're ready to give answers. Say, in my current position, I've been on the ground floor of a growing business. While I've enjoyed learning how to build a thriving company, I'm looking for a role in a more established firm. Show that you're a team player. Your interviewer will want to know how well you work with others. They may ask you questions like, how would you describe your work habits, can you tell me about a time that you worked with a team to accomplish a project, or would you rather work alone or with a team? It's important that you show them that, while you can work well independently, you're also able to work well with others. Provide specific examples of how you've successfully worked on a team. 3. Prepare a list ahead of your interview so that you're ready to prove you're good at working with others. Say, while I'm definitely a self-starter who can work alone, my current position often involves teamwork. On my last project, I worked with a committee to implement a growth plan. Prove that you can handle conflict. You will most likely be asked about a time you've had a conflict with a coworker, supervisor, or professor. The interviewer wants to know that you can see an issue from multiple points of view and work collaboratively toward a solution. This is your chance to explain that you can negotiate a compromise and understand where others are coming from. Before the interview, brainstorm a good example that you can provide to show a time you successfully worked through an issue. This doesn't have to be the biggest conflict you've had. Write out your point of view on the incident, what the other person seemed to think, and how you resolved the conflict. Say, in grad school I had a classmate that scheduled project meetings at times she knew I couldn't meet because she was worried that there were too many people working on our project. I contacted her to talk about what I could offer the group, and we were able to work out a schedule that suited everyone. In the end, she and I were the lead authors on the paper we produced. Everyone has conflicts, so telling the interviewer that you haven't will be a red flag. Explain how you are working to overcome your weakness. Most interviewers ask you to identify a weakness. The interviewer wants to know if you are able to acknowledge areas where you need improvement, and how open you are to receiving professional development. Your goal is to show that you are a lifetime learner who is passionate about receiving performance feedback and seeking growth. Say, in the past I've struggled with assertiveness, which has affected my work performance. However, I've gone to 2 assertiveness seminars on my own time, and the techniques I've learned have helped me tremendously. Resist the temptation to give a strength as a weakness, such as, I work too hard, or I'm too dedicated to my work. Your interviewer will see through this, and you'll lose the opportunity to show that you are growth-minded, which is what the interviewer wants to see. Know what your references will say about you. Some HR interviewers will ask you what your references will say about you, so talk to them ahead of time to find out what they might say. At the very least, think about what you think they may say before you go into the interview so that you won't be caught off guard. Say, my references will likely say that I'm dependable and resourceful.